what about, let's go back then to, we had said that knee pain and knee deterioration is probably more of a lifestyle thing, and I'm paraphrasing here, than it is a inevitability of aging. But obviously we're not going to live forever, and there is some breakdown. What can we expect as we age from 50s to 60s to 70s and 80s and on with our knees? If we take care of our knees, can we expect them to be mobile and strong until we're 100, or is that kind of unrealistic?
Great question. I don't know that there's clear evidence or research backed, but I see no reason why you can't continue to be really active and your knees stay healthy. I will say that X-rays don't often correlate with people's symptoms. I've had a client who has come to me and her X-rays showed severe, really horrific arthritis, and they were trying to offer her a knee replacement. She's like, but that's not really where I'm hurting. And she kind of pointed up to her hamstring or the back of her thigh, and she wasn't having symptoms. So I think it's important not to correlate, hey, my X-rays have changed, with, hey, I'm just, this is inevitable that I'm going to need a knee replacement.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was something that prior to hopping on this call, I wanted to talk to you about, and it had completely gone out of my mind. But I did want to talk about knee replacement. So very often when we go to a doctor who, that's the tool in his toolbox is knee replacements, and he looks at a damaged knee, he says, you need a knee replacement. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on when somebody is given that news, hey, you need a knee replacement or any joint replacement, really. Is there a cause for them to go out and get a second opinion from somebody who's maybe not a knee surgeon? Is there a possibility that that knee could be saved, rehabbed? What's the likelihood, and when is it inevitable? When is it time to absolutely replace your knee?
Sure. I definitely think it's worth trying some non-operative approaches before signing up for a replacement. There was research recently that 1 in 4 people who have knee replacements aren't satisfied with the results. So it's not like, I think there's a role for knee replacements. It's helped a lot of people stay active that couldn't have without them, but it's also not maybe as necessary as maybe the frequency in which they're being done. So if you can find a level of, if you can decrease your activity and feel better and increase your activity and feel worse, your body is responding, right? If you have constant pain, debilitating pain, you're waking up at night with pain, you're waking in the morning and the pain is almost as bad as it was the night before, you're likely getting to a point where the degeneration is creating negative effects, not just for the cartilage, but maybe for the underlying bone. And the longer you go and the more severe it gets, the harder it is to kind of turn the train around, right? But if your symptoms oscillate based on your activity level, there's a good chance that you can change, make a positive difference in your knee. Can't always predict, okay, exactly how much. If your goal is to run ultra marathons and you have grade 3 osteoarthritis, maybe some grade 4, that might not be a good match. But can you be a super active person who enjoys recreational sports and lifts weights and does some power training? Absolutely. So think where people get stuck is they have some pain, they limit their activities, they feel better. Then they reintroduce that activities, but nothing's really changed except they don't have pain at the moment. The strength of the inside of their knees, the joint surface, hasn't really changed. So now they get the pain again, and they're like, well, clearly taking that activity out wasn't the answer. Well, no, it wasn't the answer, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one. You have to find the level. Squatting, I'm going to go back to squatting again because so much of life, it's so functional, right? And so if you can, I try and help people determine their squat load tolerance, which means the percentage of body weight that they can squat without pain 5 times, good form. And then build on that. I think it's really important for people to know where they're at in terms of, a measurement. Squat load tolerance is a measurement that I find is really helpful. And then measure it again several weeks later. You may not be at the point where life is pain-free, but if you've moved from 20% to 32% in terms of what your knee tolerates, the percentage of body weight that your knee tolerates, it's like, wow, that's almost a 50% improvement. Yeah. Like, keep doing those things, even if they don't feel super exciting in the moment.